With the traitorous House Torg banished from the Klingon Empire, it is time to get back to the matter at hand, the war against the Federation. In 2409, on the Federation side of things, Starfleet is still engaged in operations against KDF and the Gorn, while both sides begin to get involved in Romulan affairs, specifically moving against the Tal Shiar and establishing firmer ties to the emerging Romulan Republic. Eventually, Starfleet comes to realise that there is a greater threat to the Alpha and Beta quadrants out there, first the Undine and the Tal Shiar, then the Iconians. But until that time and the forming of the Khitomer Alliance, the war rages on.
Kavan, warrior. I bring news from the war, and an opportunity for honor and glory. We recently took the Alhena system from the Federation in battle. In response, Starfleet has sent a task force to take it back. Our forces may not be enough to repel their counterattack. Alhena is an important system. I will not see it fall back into Federation hands. Join me there, and we will teach Starfleet what happens when you defy the Klingon Empire!
Alhena is a trinary star system, also known in real life as Gamma Geminorum, within the constellation of Gemini. Now, the galaxy map for some reason only shows it as one star, but that's just an oversight then, I guess. Back in the 2290s, it became the home for a far-flung Federation colony world and remained in UFP territory for a century, until this war, when its proximity to Boreth forced the Empire to take it back and bolster it with their own outpost stations. Well, what happened to the Federation colony? Well, hopefully it was evacuated when the war began to heat up as close as it was to the border. If not...
There is an incoming hail from the station's commander.
Good. More warriors to join the battle against these Starfleet thieves. This was Imperial space for centuries, until the Khitomer Accords gave it to the Federation. A mistake we have corrected, as you can see.
They lived here for 100 years. We've lived here for centuries, although it seems they disagree with that evaluation.
Bah! Let them whine like newborn targs. I have but one answer for them. Glorious battle! Join the fight, and we can litter the stars with the wreckage of their ships!
Commander Alvek is a Lethian. This species is telepathic and a relatively new addition to the Empire, as they were not conquered by it, but asked to join Jimpok. Generally, this species was regarded as mercenaries for hire, so it could be that their government is looking to put their expertise to good use and a greater cause. For this mission too, we are allying with Kamen, a Klingon intelligence agent and captain of a Kib-class battlecruiser. There may be a bit of a discrepancy here, because the Kib was created alongside Starfleet's own intel vessels that we see emerge towards the founding of the Khitomer Alliance, and it has been retroactively added to the Klingon missions, which are set during a time when those two sides are hostile. We can easily hand-wave away this by claiming that the vessel was already in the works.
Enemy contacts inbound. Good. My crew hungers for more battle.
Either way, the Kib is designed to have a low profile to help it evade sensor systems, and while it does have a cloak, Command seems reluctant to use it. Maybe it's being installed on Tuesday. Our use of the cloak allows us to coast behind the Federation mix of light frigates, Centaur and Aurora, and two Shikar-class starships, none of which are particularly noteworthy for their battle prowess.
A Starfleet battleship. Disable it. There may be valuable command data on board.
The battleship Kamen is referring to is a Galaxy Dreadnought, which was first seen in a parallel timeline that never came to pass as a refit of the Galaxy-class Enterprise D. In this timeline, that refit might not have graced an Enterprise, but the need for a beefier Galaxy-class arose in the face of the war, and thus we have the tri-nacelled powerhouse that is the Galaxy Dreadnought. Fortunately, this one, the USS Dewitt, does not have an active Spiral Lance main cannon. Or if it does, it's really not as powerful as the one we saw in the shows.
Well done! The Starfleet vessel is dead in space!
You know, I always doubted Starfleet when they used to say we don't make battleships, but if this is their idea of a dreadnought...
Good. They are disabled and at our mercy. Now is the time to strike. Let us board the vessel and seize anything useful while we can.
Always thinking like an intelligence operative? Good idea. I shall lead the team myself.
I hope you are ready for a fight. Despite what you may have heard, most Starfleet are not cowardly weaklings. They will defend their vessel like warriors born.
Well, we'll just have to see. Records indicate that the Dewitt is captained by Xenexian of the same savage species as the infamous Mackenzie Calhoun. This one's name is Hollingsworth. In Klingon style, we beam straight to the bridge and engage the crew directly, and sure enough, Captain Hollingsworth is here, purple eyes darting from target to target as he fights for his vessel. He is protected by a personal shield, but that does little to stop the trauma of the battle. With him down, we secure the rest of the bridge before Command gives his orders.
See what the human knows while I search their computer for intel.
Command, he's not a human. Look at the eyes, he's a Xenexian. Although I suppose he could just be a human in contact lenses. But the Wiki agrees with me. Alright, Starfleet, let's talk.
If you're going to kill me, get it over with. If you're waiting for me to beg for my life, not going to happen.
Good, you do have a warrior spirit.
What's the Klingon saying? Better to die on our feet than live on our knees. That works for us too, you know.
And yet you're sat here on your ass. So I'll cut you a deal. Answer my questions, and at least I'll grant you a warrior's death.
He's stalling, buying time for his security teams to storm the bridge. The turbo lifts approach as we speak. Guard the entrances while I extract intelligence data from their computers.
Prepare for battle and keep one eye on him. What comes next is the Starfleet counterattack as officers arrive from the turbolifts and also beam in from the conference room in waves. We manage to hold them off easily enough because of the tight spaces forming choke points, but soon their resistance is spent.
My invasion of their computer systems has been very successful. I have found security command codes and transponder IDs for the Sol system.
What? Oh my dear Starfleet Captain, why didn't you scrub your computers? Did you think you still had a chance to retake your ship?
Indeed. We can do glorious deeds with this information. Deeds worthy of song and memory. Come, let us return to the ship. There is no glory to be found in a Starfleet brig.
Yes, we should probably get out of here before the rest of the crew mounts another attack, or Starfleet turns up in force.
The Starfleet vessel is too heavily damaged to be of any more use to the Empire.
No, it is a Galaxy class, and we've had schematics on those for a long time.
Your orders? Do you wish to scuttle it, or leave its warriors to fend for themselves?
This is a war, after all, and the Federation Captain impressed me. I will grant him the highest respect. A warrior's death.
Opportunities like this do not present themselves often. I suggest we contact the High Council and discuss the best course of action.
Agreed. We'll have to move quickly to make use of these codes.
Very well. I have Chancellor Jempok standing by.
Wait, what? That was quick. Okay, on screen.
You have done well today, warriors. Such boldness should be rewarded. Though an assault on Earth would be glorious, I believe there is a greater chance for success in attacking a critical Federation War asset. The Utopia Planitia shipyards.
Ah yes, the planet Moz.
Utopia Planitia is Starfleet's main ship repair and construction facility. Any lasting damage there could hinder the Federation war effort greatly. Yes, that will be your target. It is only fitting that you will find glory at a planet named for a god of war.
Gods of War? Wait, humans have those? Very well, Chancellor. I shall do this.
You must act quickly. It will not be long before Starfleet learns of your success and what you have taken from them. If there are warriors eager to seek glory with you there, lead them to Mars for the Empire. Fight well. Fight with honor. Qapla'!
Qapla', Chancellor.
We should approach the starbase. Some of the warriors there may wish to join us in battle once more.
Having destroyed the Dewitt also means that they won't have been able to alert Starfleet as to what we've taken. The security codes will allow us to temporarily deactivate the Mars defense grid around the planet, numerous powerful phaser satellites, and the transponder IDs will allow us to approach the system unmolested until we drop out of warp right on top of it.
It is an honor to heed your call to battle. We answer it gladly. Soon, Starfleet will pay the price for defying the immortal Empire. It will be glorious!
Yes, it will, but you're trying a little too hard. Just tone it back a bit.
All ships have reported in. They are ready for combat. We leave for battle at your command!
Oh, yes, so enthusiastic. You're on the front line.
A strike this deep into Federation space has not happened in many years. If we succeed, our names will be remembered for eternity. Tamidun Bamidun!
We mobilise our small strike fleet, including Commander Alvec's vessel, which I believe is this Vulture-class battleship, as well as several wings of identical Kuldun bird of praise, like my IKS Koskori.
There it is. Mars. A harsh, scarred world. The humans named it well. We won't have time to destroy the main shipyard, but we can do considerable damage to their repair facilities.
Agreed. This is literally hit and run. There are far too many Starfleet vessels around us to stay. Although, before we can do our damage, we're going to have to destroy these incoming patrols.
Agreed. Fortunately for us, the entire Third Fleet is not present. That is a battle only a fool would seek. It would be glorious for Starfleet. No, the token force in the system will fight well, but we have the element of surprise. And we are Klingons. Victory will be ours. We will also need to disable local communications. I can use the command codes we seized in battle to achieve this, but we must do it quickly. Wait too long, and every Starfleet ship in the quadrant will be summoned to aid their comrades.
Mars, or Sol 4, was colonised in 2103, and Utopia Planitia took over as the primary shipyard of Starfleet around the 24th century, replacing San Francisco, although both are still operational. On the surface are numerous manufacturing plants and factories, as well as dilithium refineries, alongside regular colony sites. In orbit are the shipyards themselves, the dry dock space frames that house the construction for the ships, as well as research facilities and trading ports. Above them is the defensive layer, which we have already bypassed, a network of satellites and sensors to defend the installation. Spoilers for Picard in the next few seconds, but in 2385 an element within the Tal Shiar took over the thoughtless synthetic androids and turned them and the defense grid on the planet itself. This ignited the planet's stratosphere, which burnt until late 2399 at least. After 10 years, however, the planet has been restored to operation once more. Let's see what we can do about that. A patrol made up of several vessels, including a powerful Concorde command cruiser, moves to intercept us but is quickly dispatched. Our first goal is to buy more time by shutting down the comm array, preventing any situation reports from getting out, which has to be done quickly.
We are now jamming out-system communications.
This is Utopia Planitia Control. All ships, scramble for defense.
Okay, next up, stop those ships.
Starfleet is powering up its ships. Destroy as many as possible while they are docked.
Now it's like simply shooting fish in a barrel, or I should probably Klingon that up a bit. It's like shooting razor eels with a phaser in a cask of blood wine. because that would be easier actually, because it's blood white, so the eels would actually also be intoxicated. What's going on here is that the Starfleet vessels in the frames are in for repair or not even complete yet. Therefore, they are taking their sweet time in powering up to operational status, including shields. So until they are ready, they can be destroyed with just a scattering of disruptor fire. It doesn't take them too long, however, and some of the smaller vessels are up and about as we start dealing with the larger ones. Soon there are enough operational ships launching from their docks to provide more sport, and this turns from asset denial into an actual skirmish over Mars. Among the myriad of vessels are signs of how desperate the Federation has become at this point in the war, as even Constitution-class vessels are seen among the casualties, throwing themselves against our assault. I doubt vessels like this would ever be deployed in any serious engagement, at least not without major overhauls. As you can probably tell, many of these ships are not at peak functionality, or they wouldn't be here. So despite the numbers being stacked against us, in a straight-up battle we still have the advantage of, well, battle-ready vessels.
I've learned one thing. It is this. Never underestimate the Starfleet Corps of Engineers. We managed to get a distress signal out. Somehow.
Of course they did. That's how Starfleet is, isn't it? Give them time and they'll adapt and improvise their way to a solution. They probably retro-jargoned the thingamajig.
Needless to say, every ship in the sector is coming here at maximum warp. It is time to go. Let's regroup back in Klingon space and leave Starfleet to their ugly little red planet.
Well, I think it's kinda cool. You know this place has got 2 moons, Phobos and Deimos, and they're named after gods of fear. Humans are messed up. So, with our raid on Mars outstaying our welcome, we are in danger of overreaching ourselves, so we regroup amid the tumbling debris and make ready to warp out of the system. I mean, Earth is like right there, an tempting target, but we would be obliterated instantly, because our surprise is gone, our codes are invalid, and security is tightening like a noose. However, as one opportunity closes, another opens, and Kamen is not going to let that slip us by.
We are receiving communications that the Third Fleet arrived shortly after we warped out. Some of our ships did not escape, and warriors have been captured. Even now, the Federation is denying them a glorious death in battle. This cannot stand!
See, from the Klingon perspective, keeping warriors alive like that is just being petty. I presume you have a plan.
You know me well. Starfleet has been disrupted. Their focus will be on Mars and other critical targets in the Sol system. But a prison? They will not consider that a critical target. A host of bold warriors could stage a jailbreak.
I don't know any bold warriors, just this crew of big goddamn heroes.
Indeed. The nearest Federation holding facility is in the Gamma Okana system. If we move quickly, we can liberate our captured allies and spare them eternity in the halls of Grethor.
Then we alter course and liberate those captured Klingons.
As I suspected, Starfleet is still in disarray from our attack on Mars. The advantage is ours.
Okay, Kamen, we're here. What's our next move?
We must swiftly disable the security measures around the station so we can beam aboard and stage the jailbreak.
This penal facility, number 47, like many of the Federation's prisons, is situated out of a main system, which makes it harder for transports to arrive and leave undetected. Usually, it is also more heavily defended than this, but by drawing reinforcements to Sol, the surrounding areas are a little light on that defence. Starfleet also employs higher security prisons, the locations of which are heavily guarded, secrecy being their best form of defence that they have, while penal colonies also exist, where inmates are afforded greater freedoms. Places like this are somewhat in the middle. Taking out the 4 defensive vessels is quick and clean, and more importantly, rather silent. well, not the explosions. The explosions are rather loud. What I mean is no one got a call out because we also managed to jam the comms.
The facility is sending a distress signal. I will try to jam it. Keep working. More Starfleet ships. Eliminate them.
The first of the ships drops quickly, but the second is a hardier Akira class. It takes the combined fire of the Koskari and Kamen's vessel.
Success. Our efforts have cleared a small sensor hole in the station's defenses. We can exploit this weakness and beam into the facility. My readings indicate we won't be far from the security area where our allies are being held. Reading several Klingon life signs. The warriors are being held in cells nearby.
We can see that we're expected. Security teams already man the corridor ahead.
Contact! Engaging hostiles!
Now, this mission is one that automatically groups you up into fire teams with other players, a setting I forgot to disable, so apologies to the person who I had to abandon here, but I needed to record this from the start, which means moving at my own slow pace.
Intruder alert! All personnel to security stations.
Well, that only took them, 5 minutes? 10? How long have we been here now, guys? We move throughout the identical corridors of this Federation prison until we find the cell block containing our captured warriors and dispose of the guards. We quickly walk the perimeter to make sure it is secure and see a number of allies, Klingons, Phrasians, and a couple of Orions. But there are also numerous empty cells, which I don't want my crew to occupy, so we pick up the pace.
Okana! The main controls are locked. There are secondary consoles at either side of this cell block. We can use them to override the security fields there.
Easy enough.
Come out, Starfleet! Come and see how a true warrior fights!
I will not die caged like a honeymoon.
Engineers will be the death.
I will die a warrior's
Attentive our
death.
actions and created a scattering field to stop us from beaming out.
Who would have thought breaking out of a prison would be more difficult than breaking in?
There is a cargo transport. Not far from here. It is currently blocked by a security field. We must seize a control station so we can drop that field. At that point, we can use the cargo transporter to escape.
Okay. But they can still beam apparently, because they just beamed away one of my prisoners. We should probably pick up the pace and keep moving before they beam us all into cells. Along the way we come across numerous security teams, and we have no doubt that the Federation can track us. Our only hope now is to run for their cargo transporter and make a quick getaway. Also, we need to hope that Command's expertise in subterfuge and hacking Federation systems is up to the task of commandeering a transporter.
This time, Starfleet. Not this time. Ha! It is done. The field is down. The path to the cargo transporter is clear.
We cross one more security team on the way to the cargo transporter, and we have lost several of our warriors along the journey, but at least they died in combat.
Miserable Starfleet Takek!
What is it now, Command? Don't tell me, Starfleet engineers.
Starfleet Tom is devious. More than Feklar himself. He will not win this time. If I narrow the annular confinement beam. Yes!
Command. Are we leaving today, or should I get comfy?
We can, but only one person at a time. Hold the line while I control the evacuation.
I presume you mean leaving. Okay, then we'll hold the line while you evacuate.
Security teams to the transporter room.
Well, it was only a matter of time before they figured out what we were doing. Endless waves of Starfleet security begin to hurl themselves at our lines.
First warrior is away.
All the while, Command's commentary reminds us of how close we are to leaving.
Second warrior transported. Third warrior away. Halfway there. 3 left. 2 to go. Only 1 more. All warriors have been evacuated.
some time after the final prisoner is retrieved, there's a lull in the battle, and we're able to fall back to the transporter.
Prisoners have been evacuated, and I managed to foil our personal Starfleet Feklar. We can all beam out now.
We've done what we came here for. Starfleet will be on its way. Let's go.
More enemy ships have arrived, led by the USS Challenger. This may be a battle we cannot win, my friend.
USS Challenger? That's an up-to-date Galaxy class, with a very famous captain, an engineer of some renown that was once stationed at Utopia Planitia. If I didn't know better, I'd say he wants to have a word with the people that just ransacked it.
This is Captain LaForge of the USS Challenger. We'll be making our stand here, and we will hold the line.
I've heard of you, Captain LaForge. You've got quite the reputation. Although it's not one that I'm scared of. Prepare for battle.
All ships, this is LaForge. Fire at will.
We begin by immediately cloaking. Not because I'm scared. See, it's a battle tactic. The small frigates that accompanied the Challenger are taken down easily, the first falling within seconds of us decloaking. But the Challenger itself is a bit tougher to take down. Funnily enough, it is actually much tougher than the Galaxy Dreadnought we faced earlier. But eventually LaForge recognises the odds are against him and he warps out.
The Challenger has disengaged at high warp.
We couldn't win. He's the main character.
I suggest we do the same as soon as possible.
What? Yes, right, no, they're not going to leave a prison undefended for very long. We lay in a course back for Klingon space, our hold laden with rescued warriors who can now fight again and die in battle, while our hearts are filled with glory at the results of today's battles.
Word of our success is spreading throughout the Empire and the Federation. We have inspired our fellow warriors and given pause for thought to our enemy. It was a good day, my friend. A glorious day. You have proven yourself to be a warrior of singular quality. Know that I may call on you again when the Empire has need of such a warrior. Until that day, fight well and with honor. Gobla!
And with that, our foray into Federation space is complete, and we returned to tell the tale about it. There are more tales to tell in the Star Trek Online Stories series, and I hope to see you there for the next part as we continue to explore its ever-changing narrative. Until then, thanks for watching. I've been Rick, and I'll see you again. Kupla.